Pittsburgh.
Turn on the radio. Bring it on. Turn it.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I love everything rock, metal, and I love talking to bands. It's just something I've been doing for years and something I will continue to do until the end of time. Now today, I got another heavy hitter on the show, and these guys I saw in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, opening up for the almighty Pantera. I'm very excited to have these guys on. Today, we have Scott from S.N.A.F.U. Scott, how are we doing?
Doing well, Kevin. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, anytime. I do appreciate you taking a minute, to talk to me. I am very excited to have you guys on because you gained yourself a fan from the show, which I'm sure is every band's dream of, that's why they play live, to bring in more fans, right? So I saw you guys in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So you're Scott. What do you do in the band, Scott?
So I play guitar and do vocals.
Guitar and do vocals. Okay, very nice. When it comes to everybody else, who all is in S.N.A.F.U. and where's everybody from?
So we're all from pretty much around Detroit area. We got Ryan Staber on guitar, also does vocals. We have El Toro on bass, who also does vocals. And then we got Mike Jurista on the drums.
So everybody almost does vocals, which is cool. It keeps everything nice and diverse. And you guys have this really cool thrash sound to you. When did you guys, start making music?
We've all been playing music since like our early teens. And, we're all mid-30s now. So, I'd say like where we got our sound is we kind of like all started as like punk rockers and got like better at our instruments. And it just kind of naturally evolved to thrash metal, I guess, from there.
And when did S.N.A.F.U. officially start?
It's tough to say. I'm like the only original member because it started like forever ago, over 10 years ago, with completely different members. And there's just, kind of one member changes at a time sort of thing. And like I said, we started out as like a punk band, and each new member's addition kind of added this different layer to now the sound that we have today. So
nothing wrong with that. So I want to talk a minute. Tell us about opening up for Pantera on those select dates. Tell me about your experience with that. Tell me everything that everyone wants to know.
And it was crazy. So we're on Phil's label, so Housecore Records, which is how we got invited out to do the whole thing. But it's just was crazy for us. We've been like DIY touring for over a decade, all over the country. We played, basements. We played in somebody's kitchen in Dallas, Texas one time. We played, 500 cap rooms. We played everything, but like the amphitheaters, it was just like such a completely different thing for us. It was crazy. No, it was such a crazy experience. Like I still feel like I barely landed back on earth from it. And that was like 2 weeks ago now. So
how many days were you on that with them?
So we just did 3 days. We did the one that was just outside Pittsburgh there, then Indianapolis and Milwaukee.
So when it came to walking up and meeting these guys, what was running through your mind?
I didn't really know what to think. It was pretty wild. But yeah, it was just a real surreal experience and didn't really know what to expect, but we just like clicked and started talking about Kiss and just all kinds of different funny stuff. And yeah. Zach Wild's hilarious. Phil's hilarious. They're all just, we're just like goofing around like pals,
Did you guys party or anything backstage with them?
I think a lot of them were all sober. I didn't really see any of them partying too much. I know Zach had mentioned he quit drinking a couple years ago, and I heard somewhere that like Phil quit drinking a while ago and stuff too. So didn't really like
but at least you get to hang out with them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
We all partied heavy, but yeah.
Okay, no problem there. So you said you were on Phil's label, which, if you don't know, Phil Anselmo runs Housecore Records. They've been around for, I don't know how many years now, but a long time.
Yeah.
What's it like being on that label? What can you share about that?
It was a really cool experience. We didn't really know. We had this record done. We finished it just before the pandemic, and then we're like, great, what do we do with this thing now? Like, pandemic hit and we hadn't released it yet. So we're like, oh man, what do we do? So we like kind of sat tight on it for a while, and we're like reaching out to a lot of different labels and whatnot, and found some smaller ones that were going to take us. And then we got reached out to by Housecore, and we're like, yeah, we should definitely, this seems like a great idea for us. And they really like the record, and we're really excited to do it. So yeah.
I would say, it's a really good pro to open up for Pantera being on the Housecore label's family. So it's a pretty good pro there. Yeah,
absolutely. It was, when we heard that once we got the offer to open for them and saw that he was like bringing on Housecore bands for like different regional dates and stuff, I was just like, man, that's really cool of them
really
to do.
Cool idea, honestly.
Yeah.
Now, when it came to them reaching out, was it like a PR agent or was it Phil himself?
It was actually Phil's wife, Kate. She does a lot of the handling of the label and stuff. So yeah, she's the one who reached out. So yeah.
That's super cool. I'm hoping you guys were like a Pantera fan before, talking to them, right?
Yep.
So you were talking about the 2021 album, Exile Banishment. Can you tell me about kind of what all went into this? How did you guys go about writing it? How did you go about recording it? Anything at all?
So writing it, we all actually do a lot of the writing. It's not just like one person doing all the writing and whatnot. So we all are constantly bouncing ideas off each other. Sometimes somebody will write a whole song complete front to back. Sometimes somebody will just bring like a riff to the table. Sometimes I'll write like a whole song and be like, man, I don't really know like what to do for vocal wise. Like Ryan, if you want to like just like do vocals on this one for the song that I wrote and stuff. So we're kind of always doing that. And I think that gives us like a really kind of different, unique sound and stuff like that. But, as far as recording it goes, we went down to Richmond, Virginia, and tracked the whole record with our buddy Landfill and his brother Josh Hall. Landfill's from Municipal Waste and Iron Reagan, and both him and Josh playing Cannabis Corpse together. Yeah, so we went down there and tracked the whole record with them. And then we came up here. We finished vocals with our buddy Adam, who actually ran front of house for us at those Pantera shows. And then he did a lot of mixing, and then we sent it off to Joel Grind from Toxic Holocaust to have it mastered. So, yeah,
got a lot of names in the hat.
Yeah, right? a lot of cool. Yeah, a lot of cool people got to work on it. So we were really happy with the way it came out too.
Awesome. So it came out. You guys are happy with it. What was the initial response? What was the initial reception to the album?
A lot of people liked it. It was a lot different from our last ones, and definitely a lot harder, heavier, darker. Definitely wrote a lot more personal issues rather than like societal or political kind of things. It was like real kind of a personal album, I feel like.
Now, SNAFU, it stands for something. I would like you to talk about what that stands for and why it stands like that.
It's an old military acronym that stands for Situation Normal, All Fucked Up.
Nice.
Yeah.
I found that out not too long ago, which was cool. I was like, hey, it stands for something. So reception was great. What kind of, I talk to bands all the time, and there's all kinds of different ways to go about writing and recording. Me, for example, I sit here exactly where I'm at and I record into my iMac. That is one way. Like you guys said, you all have your own ways of doing things. What do you prefer? Do you guys kind of like demo stuff at home and then bring it into the table later, or?
We have, I think for this record, with just the way technology has become like way more accessible with that kind of stuff, like home studios and demoing and stuff like that. This record, Exile and Banishment, was definitely one where we demoed a lot of things at home, then like either like sent them to each other, like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that kind of thing? Or brought it to practice to like listen to and then worked on it from there. So definitely, like I said, with the way technology is going, like writing at home's like super easy, just setting up there and making a little notebook of riffs kind of thing, and
it's so easy to where you can literally email a riff to someone and they're like, what if I did this? And then they can send it back. There's diehards out there that are, all for the old ways, which no flack on them. Good for them. They probably make amazing stuff that I can't make. But at the same time, it's so easy. I love it. I love how technology is evolving.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, we've also had times too where we're just at practice and we're like, oh man, like somebody just brings like a little portion of a riff and we just sit there and end up all coming together and writing a whole song right there together based off like one little concept or idea kind of thing. So
I've told people before, there's no right or wrong way to write or record. There's just a million ways to do it.
Yeah,
as long
there
as
is.
the outcome's great, then have at it.
Right, exactly.
So for the guitar techs, the guitar nerds, what do you like to play and why do you like to play?
Right now I'm playing a Gibson Explorer and
Classic. Yes.
Yep. I just use an old 90s 5150, and then my pedal chain is pretty simple, just a tube screamer and a boost pedal and noise suppressor, and that's about it. So
simple and easy. Nothing
yep,
wrong
exactly.
with that either. It's nice and heavy too.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's coming up next for SNAFU? You guys just did that little tour, and now we got the rest of 2023. What's in the works?
So we're working on some Midwest dates right now that we should be announcing soon. And then October, we got a couple more Midwest stuff. And that's about it for now. So we're still trying to figure out the end of year. We really want to get in the studio this winter and pump out a new album. So that's
any demos in the works already?
Yeah, we've already started doing some demo and writing over the summer. So yeah.
That's what I like to hear. Now, I always like to kind of wrap things up by asking bands, is there anything that you would suggest to a new band or a band trying to break through that glass ceiling? Any tips, any tricks for them that you would like to share?
It's pretty simple. We have a lot of younger bands here in Detroit that are starting to come up, and I always tell them all the time, just don't give up, just keep pushing. You just got to keep going and see where it takes you, kind of thing. Say yes to a lot of things, and just try and get out there as much as possible and just don't break up. As long as the band is good and doing great, I tell these young kids, I'm like, just don't break up and just keep going. That's about it. So
anything you want to say to fans as we wrap things up?
Just thanks for all the support. Without fans, we'd be nothing. It's incredible all the support we get from all over the country and everybody. So really appreciate every little bit of it.
Absolutely. Well said, Scott. I'm going to talk to you here in a little bit off air. Just want to say thanks again for hopping on the podcast.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem. That's Scott from the band S.N.A.F.U. They got an album out right now called Exile and Banishment. These guys are heavy, very thrashy. Again, saw them in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, opening up for Pantera, and they gained a fan. And I hope that you guys are also going to become a fan of S.N.A.F.U. Thanks again for checking out this episode of the podcast. We will see you next time.